From the world-famous Blackbird Studios, it's the Rave X Podcast. And now, Rave X.
Hey now, thanks for tuning into the show. I'm your host, Rave X. But for today, just for today, you can call me Birthday Boy. That's right, your boy Rave X has just turned 34. That's right. And today's my birthday. Now, I'm up early, man. I got a bunch of stuff to do, as always. I never get a moment to myself. But, I want to do a podcast, man. It's been a while, and I've been busy. So welcome to the show, episode 52, Losing Isn't Winning. And you know how this goes, kids. Let's dive in. So a few days ago, man, I was listening to the radio, and I heard someone smart, right? Like a professor of psychology from wherever. And what he was talking about kind of blew my mind, because it's definitely a trend that the world has been going on, which is to change the definition of stuff. And if you don't come out on top, that's okay. You're just as good, man, which is bullshit. But what he was talking about was how losing can sometimes be better than winning. Like you can lose, but you really win. And I'm just thinking, oh, bullshit, dude. This is the problem. This is why we're all kind of out of our mind and a little crazy, and we don't solve problems in the world or in the country, and we don't know which way is up, because we're constantly being fed a line of bullshit. Now, look, it's bullshit that we want to hear. We want to be told that, hey, man, you're amazing, too. Everybody's amazing. Look, not everybody gets to be Michael Jordan. Not everyone gets to be Bruce Lee. Not everyone gets to be Jimi Hendrix. And, that's okay. But when you get these professors of science and psychology that go on the air and they say, sometimes you can lose. And you can lose with such dignity and grace that it's actually better than winning. Yeah, well then why does everybody want to win? I have never heard anybody say, you know what I want to do? I sure do want to lose. No, because it's not the same. And we need to stop changing the definition of words, right? If you're 36 years old and you make $8.75 an hour working at Walmart, that is not the same as the guy who started a Fortune 500 startup company with an app on your phone or whatever, or software, and he makes, $190 million a year. It's not the same. But here's something that you're not going to hear. It's okay, man. If you're a musician and you're not up to Hendrix level, that's okay. If you're a martial artist and you can't throw a 180-degree vertical kick like Master Bruce did, that's okay too. Quit comparing yourself to all these people, man. It's like the grass is always greener. Sometimes it's okay to lose if you learn from it. That is the only time that losing is a little better than winning. I think I read in The Art of War or in some Zen Buddhist book that all knowledge is gained from defeat and very little knowledge is gained in victory. Because when you win, like your favorite sports team, when they win, they just go back to the locker room, they high five. There's no real discussion. Do you guys hear that? I don't know what's going on outside my apartment, but it's horrible right now. It's like some weird screeching noise. We're going to plow through it. What was I saying? Sports teams. If you lose, you go back to that locker room and you're like, all right, what did we do wrong? So-and-so dropped the ball. This guy, we should have had him on first base instead of third base. He tried to bunt. He should have been swinging for the fences. And when you lose, you analyze. And if you're a smart person, you're learning a lot, man. You take it in, you write notes. I know when I go to band practice, if I make a mistake, I go into the verse a little early or I go into the chorus a little late. When I come back home, I remember that and I write it down. I'll even make a little cheat sheet for myself. Now, if I go to practice and I knock it out of the park, it was fun, but I didn't really learn anything. Learning is the only time that losing is okay. But if you're just going to tell yourself that coming in dead last and not getting the promotion at work is just as good as coming in first and getting that promotion, you're lying to yourself and you're bullshitting yourself. Now, this is a symptom of what I call low-thinking, weak mind. Because to be successful in anything, man, and it can be your own little business. You can, be a supervisor at work. To be successful, to make those right decisions, you almost have to have, like, Solomon-esque wisdom. And it's not the type of wisdom that's really taught in school anymore, or even really talked about. Like, you have to make decisions that are sort of contoured to you and the situation. And that's how you sort of adapt and overcome and get better at anything. And I feel like the whole point in life, you're only here for a finite amount of time. A blink of an eye, man. As long as you get better, you can be a painter. and you don't make a lot of money, you get a crappy basement apartment someplace, right? If your artwork over the years has gotten progressively better, I feel like that's good, man. That's good. But if you're pumping out crappy artwork and just telling yourself it's good, that's low-thinking people. And unfortunately, the world is filled with them. I was just listening to the news, man. And, I don't like to get political because politics, they suck. But I heard someone saying how someone called into a station and they said, "Can you believe that in my county, they say that you can't vote for president unless you're an American citizen? Where is this hatred coming from?" Now, let's pause the tape, man. I always like to say that. With any situation that's a little wonky, you can always find where the sort of low thought process gets interjected into that. It's not racism. It's not hate. If you live in a country, the only people who should vote are citizens of that country, whether you agree with it or not. That's just how it is. Think of it this way. You come out your house in the morning, you look where your car's supposed to be, your car's gone. There's a brick on the ground, glass shattered everywhere. Your car is, guess what? You got jacked, son. You're catching a bus to work today. You better get used to it for a while. You call the police, and you say, "Yeah, someone stole my car, man. It's gone. There's a brick. There's glass." And the person on the other end says, "Okay, sir, I get it. So you lent your friend your car. When are they coming back with it?" And you go, "No, I didn't lend my car to anyone. Someone stole my car." "Okay, sir, I get it. You told your wife that she could borrow the car, and now you don't know where she is." No, I didn't lend the car to someone stole my car." Do you see what we do with situations, man? We have decided in 2019, and maybe going further back, that if we don't like reality, we cut and paste it. If you lose, just as good as winning. If somebody says, "We need to secure the borders," well, now you're a racist, hate-spewing whatever, because you hate those people, man. Well, no. You enforce the borders the same way you lock your front door, and it has nothing to do with hate. It has to do with your safety, right? And I know, you can hate me on this. I'm not political. I don't even vote. But some things are just common sense. Someone hit me up on Facebook, and they had mentioned something about God. And I love this person. They're a great person. And we were sort of got into a little religious thing. And I said, I'm not going to debate religion, man. That's a podcast for another day. And they said, "Name the time and place, man, because I have proof." Now, 1, I respect the fuck out of this person. 2, they have no proof. 3, I'm guessing their proof is something specific to them, because every time I talk to someone about religion, it's always like, "I know there's a God." And I go, "Really? How do you know?" And they go, "When my wife gave birth to my first son, and he opened his eyes, his big brown eyes, just like his grandfather had, I knew there was a God." Let's pause the tape and rewind it. Think of how many emotions are going through your body. Your brain is just pumping you up with all types of oxytocin, the love drug that your brain produces. Originally, this comes about in animals a few million years ago to stop us from eating our young. Today, we call it love. When you're that emotional, of course you're going to believe this is magic and this is God. Childbirth isn't magic. It has nothing to do with God. I've heard people say, "I was hit by a car. I was in a hospital for a month and a half. And when I got out, I was perfectly fine." You telling me God doesn't exist? No, you went to a hospital and they healed your broken bone. Anytime someone tells me God's real and they know it, their example is just ridiculous. I heard someone say, "How can you say that God isn't real? Have you ever seen a beautiful rose? How can that happen without God?" Photosynthesis and a seed that grew into a rose. "But Rave, how can you be so sure?" Because I graduated high school. That's how I know. The same way I know that the world isn't flat. But again, what we continue to do is, if we don't like the outcome, we just change it. It's so incredibly narcissistic. I can't even put it into words, right? Let's say you play in a band, you play a horrible show. They're booing you, they're throwing beer cans at you. The owner of the club says, "You're never gonna work in this town again." Well, you should go home and think about that shit to get better, which is the point of life, I think, right? To get better. But instead, we go home, we go, "Fuck them, bro. They don't know. My band's dope." No, it's not. It's horrible. And everyone knows it's horrible, right? And at the end of the day, so many of us are a bunch of low-thinking human beings who are emotionally disturbed and just deep down inside hate our dad. We can't take it when we lose. We can't take it when we hear something politically that we don't agree with. So it's got to be hate, right? If you lose, someone tells you your artwork's horrible or your music is horrible, well, they've got to be fucking dickheads, right? Why else would they say that? Well, they said that because, to some extent, they care about you and they're trying to tell you the truth and trying to make you a better person, which unfortunately in 2019, none of us are interested in. And for Christ's sakes, man, losing is not winning. Don't let anyone tell you different, man, because you'll never get any better as long as you keep believing that. And the only way to actually win and get better at whatever it is you do, music, art, being a supervisor, being the boss at work, is a little thing I like to call reality on reality's terms. There's no other way. Well, that's it, man. I think I preached enough, especially for a birthday episode. I got shit to do, man. I'm going out partying, man, with all types of debauchery is going to happen. I can't wait. So hide your wife, hide your girls, hide everyone. Your boy Rave X is coming to town.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Well, that's going to wrap it up for me, man. I got shit to do, especially on my birthday. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in, man. My name's Rave X, and kids, do me a favor. Remember this. A drunk mind always speaks with a sober tongue. My name's Rave X. Enjoy yourself.
That was the Rave X Podcast. Be sure to click like and subscribe. For podcasts, new music, and all things Rave X, go to youtube.com and search Rave X Music.